What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. In the buyout that seems to have everybody freaking out today, Fallen of Albaz has doubled up towards $10 and is quickly reaching towards 15 with very few listings left. Why is this? Well, if you'd listened to Market Man, wow, he has one fusion now too. It seems like this will be a continuing trend and he's gonna run through new archetypes. Indeed, he now has a fusion that people are going, oh, Pogger's over by card design, I think, and then he gets mentioned in a couple other places. So Fallen of Albaz's fusion here reads, during your main phase, you can move this card into another main monster zone on your field, then you can destroy all other face-up cards in this card's current column, and you see him riding a spaceship with Ecclesia. That's pretty pog, but in my opinion, he's not going to be flying into the same column as the meta. Maybe Rogue, but I just don't see Fallen of Albaz becoming this necessary pillar and piece. You can play the strategies without him depending, and so while I'm looking at this and it's cool, I feel like it's a knee-jerk reaction to, okay, yeah, there's proof in the pudding, there's fusion after fusion maybe, versus the time he gets a reprint, he'll finally get a good strategy, I'm going to invest now. Well, I told you guys to do that at $5 and less, and now you guys that did that, you have a decision. Do you sell for that free double up, or do you just chill and wait and see? You're in the tougher position now. I personally think I would be selling while it's hot right now, because it reminds me of the old school spiral trends, before we're talking double helix and tier 0 metas and all that. Remember during Zodiac format, you aged duelist, where we would get reveal after reveal for core sets of spirals, and they all seemed pretty darn good, but it just couldn't come together because Zodiac was a deck. It would get 9th place at regionals, it would come almost there, its resource games and reveals would seem so good, and you'd see your spiral super agent, it would spike from $4 to $10, go back down to $4, spike back to $9. It was like just market science that it was going to spike on reveals. Well, here's a reveal, here's a Fallen of Albaz price hike. Do you guys think it is actually warranted here and it's just that cool, that hype, or do you think it is a bit overhyped and then it will cool back down and then we'll get another reveal at see the game you could be potentially playing depending on the market? Now, two other big brain galaxy brain buyouts today. I think Armory Arm is actually a pretty good choice of buyout, and here's why. People have a lot of fond memories in past metagames of using it, and it actually shaped how people's boards had to be made. So I think duelists going into past formats, actually having to play against this in the future as past formats get more popular, this is kind of big brain. Now, I featured this yesterday on Market Watch, and it also got bought out. I think by the same person who was mentioning Armory Arm, they were like, yeah, bought these two out. I feel like this is way more niche, and it was people who chose this and decided to kind of just sit on it in meta games. I don't feel like it defined so much boards and how people had to work, but I do remember a lot of good duels trying to tech this and trying to prove how good it was. I don't feel like this is a good buy out everything card, even with two versions only, one being a 10 version, one being the original secret rare, where Armory Arm's 3 versions are Turbo Pack, Duelist Pack 8 Ultra, which is hard enough to get, and a secret rare from Legendary Collections 5D, a $30 MSRP thing that has skyrocketed so many cards within its set. I think this is actually a pretty big thing for people to remember how they felt about this card versus this being a little more niche. So I don't often condone buyouts, but I think this was pretty smart for whoever spent their money. I don't think this was as smart for whoever spent their money. There are two huge sales going on. Sorry, prepare your wallets. 15% off everything on Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market. They're actually aiming to break even on this for their grand opening. It is absurd actually what they're doing. So you can see stuff like Genesis Impact that has been on sale longer at $680. Let me pull up that calculator. So per box, you're actually getting a deal this late in the game versus those collector rares and what everyone's chomping at the bit to get of $56.66 per box. But Blazing Vortex, they haven't even removed their early bird special pricing on. Look at this, $765, and you're going to get, well, it's $650, you can actually see. So whenever you add it, you don't need a promo code. They're just blanket on the site. I'm telling you the guys this, and I do have an interest. The more sales there are, the more I do end up making. But this is an absurd sale that is like basically factory to you pricing, like straight up. So you can see divided by 12 boxes, they're selling Blazing Vortex at $54.16 a box when you buy it by the caseload. So So this is by far, if you were going towards sealed product, you were thinking about it at all, Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market is the place for you this weekend. No promo code needed. Just go check it out and see what is wide. And they have Pokemon now too. This is, again, they're gonna have their huge grand opening for their new store, and I think it's really awesome to see somebody thriving during the crush card times in this hobby industry. Tier 0 is also doing what's good to 5 is now 10% off this entire weekend, and while they're gonna get crushed in certain aspects like sealed product by YBM sale, why couldn't you guys talk together and do different weekends for your sale? They have very interesting products from the OCG you might want to be looking at, such as these special double Dark Magician Girl deck boxes from the Asia Championship, and it's very well priced, versus other playmats, versus singles such as Effect Veiler Starlight Rare at, yeah, it's the normal price, but 10% off on cards like these are huge, because that would be, wow, around 540. Also, for people that have trouble finding out how to do your version of dollars, it's up here, and it's still free shipping over 50 pounds though, so you might want to go back and forth to see how your card is versus free shipping if you're doing the sale this weekend. But yeah, that's huge on a card like this to be 540 versus a price that is like 600 plus across the freaking market for the most part. And then they also restock Battles of Legends. So here's a great example. They have a 10,000 dragon at 1280. With that 10% off at 1280, well, that's gonna be a very nice price compared at 1,152 versus the 1,400 lowest now over on TCG Player. They're very big savings for the cards that they are. They also have a lot of card supplies, so Tier 0 going hard in a lot of places besides just sealed. They have KMC Whites at a decent amount. They have Dragon Shield, which everybody has been saying that is their favorite sleeve lately. Ultra Pro Eclipse, if that's your choice. And then they also have restocks on stuff like Toon Chaos. They do have unlimited booster boxes, but more notably, they have collector rares. So, like, let's say they have Sci-Frame Gear Gamma at a competitive price, 180, but with that 10% off, that would be $18 off. Versus, you know, if you were considering picking up first editions on TCG Player at 180, well, you're getting 18 off per on a playset that's over $50. So do consider what's happening here. Also, I believe, I don't know if I have it pulled up, actually. They have Eternity Code at a better price than I've seen it on the entire market right now. Let's pull up the price high to low. So their sealed Eternity Code is at $76, and 10% off is no joke on that price. And then Eternity Code booster boxes pretty much everywhere. I think even YBM with their bigger sale, it's gonna beat them on that. So Eternity Code sealed, if you're chasing Starlight rares, yeah, 76 is already beating that 82, and you're getting a further 10% off with cards like Archosaur, Access Code, Gearsu to chase, ultra rares like Linkross, and then you're chasing Starlights. It could be a fun little thing for the weekend, but I usually don't go for individual boxes myself. It's not all price hikes and sales and spend your money. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is actually down further in price. I know this might not be good news for everybody, but he seems to be constantly now heading towards $35, where he was trying to cling to 38 and 40. He just is on a continuous downfall. I want to know your guys' thoughts on Dragoon, because it seems like a lot of people are still playing him, yet he continues to go down in price. Is it just everybody secured the bag, they got their one, and with no other chase card in the Megaton competition ramping up, there's a lot of sellers on this card that are going to want to sell it, even versus that high demand. It seems like it's whittling down in terms of pricing, as are a lot of cards in here. Very few things are going up. Like, I noticed Unchained Abomination is slowly kind of picking up steam here for its secret rare, which is its highest rarity, but then other people are looking at, you know, would I rather have the secret Gizmek or the Ultra? Budget players obviously towards Ultra, but a lot of people answering with the secret rare. Triple Tactics Talent is over $100 now, with its lowest listings at 102, 103, and quickly going up past there. I've been keeping track of this versus Forbidden Droplet for that race for the top of the set, and it feels like Triple Tactic Talents, it's won ever since the ban list and Call by the Grave got hit. People freaked out about having alternate options, but it's also been really good in this metagame, as Sci-Frame Gear Gamma has been prevalent within the metagame. So Droplet, still an amazing option in the format. Tons of people are playing and siding this, but it is chilling, and by chilling, I mean around that $90 mark that it has been, which is one of its higher price points. and still eyeing the top of the set, but TTT continues to go up and ahead. Speaking of Fallen of Albaz in the picture, we see that Nadir Servant is at one of its higher price points at 70 before it does quickly continue to go up even further towards 75. So it seems like everything in Rise of the Duelist is going towards its next level, going towards like these higher prices, and the sealed for it has not been any better. Konami really needs to figure out how to do an unlimited run of Rise of the Duelist and how to make it palatable for consumers since they have quit special editions. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know when they're going to do it, but they really need to get on the ball and figure this out for Duelist because these prices are actually just absurd throughout this set and have been going crazy and in demand. Now, I wanted to talk, like, people always ask me, what are cards you would consider going for? Do you have any penny stocks right now? This is, like, just something in my mind. Like, I see Azura Priest, a card that was, like, not considered forever getting buyouts, and then I look around at other things. Dark Balter, if we're talking GOAT format, is so, like, under-considered, in my opinion. You see the Hobby League version of it just chilling forever under that $15 price point, where you have other Hobby Leagues spiking to 30, getting buyouts here and there, and its first edition version, LOD is no joke for a set. First edition base of this is, well, base set is a different thing in card games in general. I digress. First edition of this is towards like $12 and has been forever without that many quantities on market. These are the kinds of things I would be considering, like, would people sanely in the future be spending $25 on this? $20? And my answer is probably yes in a couple of years, especially with how this market has been. I also like things like the rare, and I think I have Ryu Senshi pulled up here for comparison. Its super rare has also been consistently going up for its first edition, the lowest appearing now towards 13 and 15. So if it's tracking up, Balter probably will. The only warning I would have for Balter, or fear for Balter, is its OCG Lost Art coming out with the horns. Konami giving a little nod towards this. That could be considered a higher rarity, a cooler version of the card. That's why I would think first edition might be more palatable than Hobby League, but Hobby Leagues have been getting targeted a lot, just like 10 promos. There's so many advantageous things to this, but do be aware, it has a Lost Art, it has horns in the OCG. And then I looked at stuff like Gatling Dragon and how it's already gone to the moon and gone crazy. The Unlimiteds are even going off market, but when we look at Gatling Dragon in general, like, it has more versions by just a little bit, and you see that even with multiple commons, it's up there towards 7. So, like, go to fusions and things people want to play. Well, DB2 is not the easiest version to get. A tournament pack common's not the easiest to get. An original, like, version of it's not the easiest. Hobby League somewhat had high quantities, but have disappeared through the years. You look at this too. You have a tournament pack common, Dark Beginnings. Speed Duel is newer and is actually one of the higher prices, and then original version. I would think fusions like these might be decent and might head towards 20, 25 in the future. These are my thoughts on the market, though, and it's not necessarily how it will go or where it will go, but looking at the trends, looking at the quantities, looking at what's happened to GOAT format, I look around things that haven't been necessarily grabbed at, and I go, what would people actually go for that? That's what I consider whenever I would be personally investing in cards, but I don't also go for buyouts. I don't just hop, skip, and jump towards that. I don't think buyouts are good for the game in general, and I don't think they're good for vendors trying to get into cards. What I would be doing is just casually here and there, buying the lowest one. Going after the lowest first ed time and time again whenever I have a little excess capital, and I would be going after it like that. I wouldn't be going in like, give me all of them, I'm going to make them go off the market, because then you buy the higher price ones. Then when people relist, you're still waiting for yours to come in, and then you don't really ever get to capitalize on buying it. That's why I like to slowly take them out, let someone else do the heavy lifting, then I have all mine in hand to list while they're still waiting to get theirs in the mail. Think smarter with cards that you're grabbing off the market, not harder. Because will this cool off over the next couple days? Will people who have a ton of these decide to shove them out? Ah, look, we're full circle. Modern market, classic market. It's just one has problems relisting as fast as others, yet still have people deeply invested who might move at a certain price point. Thank you so much for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. I know a lot of time was spent talking about sponsored sales, but it's really cool to actually have and work with sponsors where I can talk to them about how to work the sales with you guys. Like Tier 0 offered me like a bigger cut, and I'm like, no, make it as much off as you can for the audience, and they did 10%. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market celebrating a once-in-a-lifetime thing, breaking even on their product, that's really admirable. So seeing two people huge come up through the game and become newsworthy and have these kinds of prices for you guys, it's really awesome to get to bring you guys that, and I hope it didn't feel like I was droning on throughout all the other cards I had on Market Watch.